State regime media known as Fox was in full meltdown mode as it becomes even more clear that Donald Trump's strikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities were a failure. Donald Trump continues to spiral out of control, saying, if you call the operation a failure, you are attacking our brave fighter pilots, and they are getting very sad. Do not make our fighter pilots sad. So now the propagandists on state regime media known as Fox are out there saying, Donald Trump's our daddy, and daddy is home, and daddy is never wrong. Daddy, daddy. They keep on saying daddy over and over again. That's why they're state regime media. They're weird, and it is a sickness over there. Watch Fox propagandist Jesse Waters play this clip.
The question is, who's daddy going to negotiate with? Fox and Friends weekend co-host Charlie Hurt joins us now. So did daddy do it or did daddy do it?
Yeah, it's funny. For years, we used to talk about the Democrat and the Republican parties as being the Democrat Party was the mommy party and the Republican Party was the daddy party. And something happened over the last 10 or 15 years where all of it fell apart. But like you said, daddy's home. The Republican Party is back to being the daddy party. He gets things done. It's not always pretty. Sometimes he has to raise his voice and yell at people, but he gets things done. And I think the American people are clearly down for it.
Then they had on Kevin McCarthy, who also said, he's our daddy. Trump's daddy, Daddy Trump. Here, play this clip.
First of all, the Democrats said, he's going to blow up the NATO alliance. How many times when you were speaker did you hear them say that?
This is all they said. But when you talk to the foreign leaders, they love President Trump. They want to be around him. If you watch their faces, I mean, you didn't play this clip. You know what they called him? You're our daddy.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
Again, if you watch that and think that that is not weird, there are some serious problems and self-introspection that is needed. We are a nation of laws, not dictators and not daddies. The hell is that? Then you had on Jesse Waters, and this was kind of a constant drumbeat that they had on Fox, and that Jesse Waters was saying that the people who leaked the classified information regarding the fact that the military operations in Iran was not successful, they're treasonous. They should be killed. Death penalty. Death to them. Watch this. Play this clip.
What we're talking about here is, and I get why a reporter tries to get this stuff, whatever, and she's a moron. She doesn't know what she's talking about, shouldn't characterize, but I get why they want to get this sort of stuff. The real question is, who was it inside the administration, inside the government, that leaked it? And if you don't believe in the deep state after this, then then you've lost your mind. This is the definition of the deep state. A wartime leak of very sensitive, confidential information. It is treason.
And if you think I'm exaggerating, here's a social media post by Jesse Waters literally calling for the death penalty right there. Oh, by the way, you turn to Fox's other top propagandist, Laura Ingraham, and she was reeling and really upset that Zoran Mandami beat Andrew Cuomo. And so what she was saying is, Laura Ingraham, right? Fox is really for the people. This is what they say. I'm being sarcastic. They're saying, we need the rich people to come together. Rich people, you got to stop Mandami. You got to stop him. Here, play this clip.
So unless rich New Yorkers band together, donate a lot of money, and create a groundswell for a viable alternative to Mamdani, another great American city is going to swirl down the drain. And when it does, the rest of us should not be on the hook to bail it out. This is their decision. This is their choice.
What in the world is that? Then you have the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche. And Todd Blanche also talks about criminal liability, and if this was a member of Congress who leaked it, we're going to have to go after them. Here, play this clip.
But what about the possibility, it is a possibility I would imagine, that this is a member of Congress who actually did this? Then what?
Well, I mean, you tell me, Laura, if a member of Congress, who very few of whom are shared this very sensitive information, we based on the reporting, shortly after information was sent to the members of Congress, this leaked. If it was a member of Congress himself or herself who leaked this, are they immune from criminal liability for putting the safety of the United States of America at risk? Nowhere that I read.
So you would say that that would not be covered under the immunity clause of the Constitution, that behavior?
I'm not aware of an immunity clause that protects anybody in this country from disclosing classified, top secret, or even higher information to the New York Times. If such a statute exists, it has not been presented to me.
And the Deputy Attorney General Blanche also says, we're going to be doing depositions of reporters. We're going after the press. Play this clip.
Well, you can already hear the media caterwauling about the Trump administration going after the First Amendment, eviscerating freedom of the press. This would require your bringing reporters in and getting depositions by reporters. There are 5 on that story, as you said. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes. I mean, of course. I mean, it's a criminal investigation. There's somebody within this government that is a top secret or maybe even higher level security clearance who felt it was okay to contact CNN and the New York Times and leak something that is not only highly sensitive, not only extraordinarily secret, but also not vetted, not accurate, and they knew that. And so,
but what
do we need to investigate the person that did that? Yes.
And then he continues to talk about treason. And again, the message coming from Fox was death penalty. Whoever leaked the information about that Daddy wasn't successful should get the death penalty. Here, watch this.
Yeah, Steve Witkoff last night on The Angle said, from his perspective, he's a pretty smart guy, this is treasonous. At a time where we could potentially be targeted by adversaries, whether Iran has capabilities here in the United States, we don't know. But he said it's treasonous and should be treated as such. Your reaction to that?
Listen, I couldn't agree more with what he said as far as the damage that this could do. Look at what happened today. The Secretary of Defense, the President of the United States, Secretary Rubio has to spend all day defending some random report that isn't even accurate. Instead of going out there and doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is protecting the American people. Everybody knows, Iran knows, Israel knows, the citizens of this country know that Saturday was an incredible and remarkable success because of the great work that our military did. And so what happens today?
No.
Look what happened today. I mean, it's terrible. And so whether it's treasonous and whether someone will be charged with treason, listen, we'll work that out. But you better believe that the Department of Justice is going to do everything we can to find out who did this.
I'll just show you this clip randomly because here you had Dr. Oz on the Laura Ingraham show, who's, I guess, trying to explain the disastrous budget bill. And he goes, like a credit card, when you put something into the machine to buy something, they don't prior authorize you. You either have the money in the bank or you don't. That's literally not the way credit cards work. Here, play this clip.
For example, by the end of this year, can you do these examinations instantaneously? Like credit card, when you put it into the machine to buy something, they don't prior authorize you. You either have money in the bank or you don't.
So I'll be honest, since I started working from home, I'd begun to swear off all jeans. Being in my house, wanting to feel comfortable with stiff denim just doesn't work, but I kept hearing about the perfect jean, and I finally gave in. And the instant I put these on, I thought to myself, why the heck did I wait so long? These things are ridiculously comfortable. I wore them on a 6-hour flight to the East Coast, No pinching, no stiffness, no regret. And when I had to full on sprint through the terminal to make my connection, these jeans moved with me. No busted seams, no airport fashion fails. I also tried their tee and shorts, game changers. I tested them out on a 3-hour food tour in the 90-degree LA heat, and they kept me cool the whole time without that awkward sticking. It's finally time to stop crushing your parts in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code MIDAS15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code MIDAS15, MEIDAS15. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Forget your khakis and get the perfect jean.
More Jesse Waters having a total meltdown over the fact that we now have learned from both the DIA, the damage assessment done by the Pentagon, as well as CENTCOM, that the strikes on Iran were pretty much failures. Look, to be fair, the facilities were damaged, but now there's a ceasefire with Iran. They still have nuclear capabilities. Trump is encouraging Iran to do oil deals with China. Trump was posting "Make Iran Great Again," and Trump says he has no intention of doing a deal with Iran over denuclearization, after Trump said that he would never agree to a ceasefire and he would only agree to total surrender. But go on, Jesse Waters. Speak to your Fox sheeple. Play this clip.
Now, you don't leak faulty intel during a war that undermines American military capabilities. Unlike the Supreme Court leaker, we better find this guy.
Dude, it's totally MAGA mush brain over there. Here they are on the show The Five on Fox, where, again, Jesse Waters and some of the other hosts say that CNN is spewing enemy propaganda. Here, play this clip.
Everybody says direct hit, years to come back from it. And then there's CNN alone in the corner in last place spewing enemy propaganda. I don't think they can come back from this.
Do you think they're getting it from some sort of nefarious Iranian sources and it's wishful
Some
thinking?
hater in the Pentagon leaked an early report that had no confidence and just relied on some camera up in the sky. That's it. It's not like there's some Israeli spy down there in the rubble with a phone. Yep, we killed this thing. Can you guys send some food? You're never going to know what happened because the thing is a pile of rubble.
Look, lots of ways you can criticize CNN and corporate news, but CNN was literally reporting what the top intelligence from the United States government is, from CENTCOM, from the Pentagon. That's what the reports say. On the other hand, Donald Trump is canceling the classified briefings with the House of Representatives and with the Senate and limiting the information that they get on a bipartisan basis. You have Trump pushing out Israeli Energy Committee statements that even Israel was not releasing. I don't know, I'm going to tend to follow the objective indicia right here. Next, you have Kevin McCarthy, again, talking about the Zoran victory. And he's like, the Democrats have gone so far left that Trump's in the middle. Trump's the centrist. Play this clip.
Because he has the right positions. And when you look at the position, the Democrats have gone so far left, they're socialists now. It's President Trump that's really in the middle looking at everybody and governing that way.
Dude, Trump is absolutely despised right now. He's got the lowest approval ever. He's the most extremist, radical nutcase there is. And with Fox spewing socialism, you know what socialism exists? Socialism for the billionaires, because the billionaires are the ones who are getting unfair advantages. They're not paying their fair share of taxes. They're getting the tax cuts. They're getting all of the benefits. And who's getting screwed? We, the people, are getting screwed. That's what's actually happening. And Trump said that he would make housing more affordable. That didn't happen. He would bring down prices. That didn't happen. He could lie all he wants and claims that gas prices are $1.98. They're not. He can claim that grocery prices are decreasing. They are not. It's all a lie. It's all a sham, and it's reflected in the data. But, Fox and Trump and the right-wing MAGA propaganda machine just wants to spew utter lies. More, you have Laura Ingraham going after Zoran again. Play this clip.
He's just an anti-establishment avatar, though, isn't he? Trashing Trump, promising a bunch of free stuff, zero experience.
And here she is again. These are the same talking points, by the way, that they attacked former President Obama with. Oh, you all are communists. You all are going to do... You want to talk about central planning, you idiots? You want to talk about central planning? How about Donald Trump calling up corporations and telling the corporations what they have to do, where they can build factories, what type of allegiance they need to pledge to him. Donald Trump picking and choosing winners in the economy, because right now the United States looks a whole lot more like Soviet Russia than the United States. But for people like Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters, they're making $20 million a year. $30 million a year. They're living in their massive mansions. They're the ones getting the tax cuts. They are shills for the oligarchs. And it's time that the American people wake up and realize these are just oligarchs themselves, shilling for the oligarch. Here she is right here.
Typical of Gen Xers, Mamdani has replaced thinking with feeling, and he won big among the young vote. And he feels that New Yorkers should be guaranteed just all sorts of freebies. How to pay for this doesn't matter.
And then you've got the Republican New York City mayoral candidate, Curtis Sliwa. And here's what he has to say right here. And this is his attack of Zoran Mamdani. Here, play this clip.
Well, just remember, the millennials now are the majority of the population. It's no longer the baby boomers. You have to have the ability to get millennials, which I have. As you know, Sean, I've recruited young people all over this country and all over the world to be guardian angels. And for 46 years, I've gotten them to voluntarily go out there, risk their lives, and take back the streets and the subways. I'm telling you, you go into the subway system tonight, you're taking your life into your hands.
I'm sure you're very cool with the millennials, Silwa. Very cool with the millennials. I just want to contrast that quickly to the type of coverage we have here at the Midas Touch Network. Here's our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski. And look, he's providing the objective data on what went down in Iran. Here, watch.
Why would you call a ceasefire when you don't know for sure if you've accomplished the mission yet? You've given them the breathing room that they need. So they are never going to allow international inspectors back in the way they did before. And they are going to be very careful with what they do to hide it from the eyes of the world. They've seen some of the Israelis' playbook. They have arrested hundreds of people that they have suspected are Israeli spies. They have strengthened their relationship with China, both economically and politically. I believe that we're worse off. And we don't even know for sure that Iran was moving towards developing a nuclear weapon before this. They certainly will be now, because they now know for sure is that the only way to deter Israel and the United States from bombing them is if they have a nuclear deterrent themselves. Because once they have a nuke, they know then we will not bomb them, because they will drop that on Tel Aviv. So the world is a much more dangerous place, in my opinion, than it was 2 weeks ago.
And again, what I think he said there is what the data is. What was the mission? What was the objective? Donald Trump claimed the mission was total surrender. So just use what Trump claimed as victory. Is there total surrender? No. Is there denuclearization of Iran? No. Is Iran submitting now to cooperation by the IAEA? No, that hasn't happened. Were the military targets completely destroyed? No. Is Donald Trump now encouraging Iran to do oil deals with China to help get China money, which Trump previously said was a way to fund terrorism? Is that happening? Yeah, Donald Trump's encouraging that to occur. Who's benefiting from this as well? Putin, because Putin's getting the Shahed drones that he uses against Ukraine from Iran. That's why they're celebrating in the streets of Iran as though this is a massive victory for them. And in Iraq and in Bahrain and in Pakistan, who, by the way, nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, and Trump was happy about that. Pakistan, an authoritarian regime, nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Anyway, they're all celebrating that Iran won, that the U.S. stopped what it was doing, and that Trump did a taco right there. I didn't want to see war at all. I didn't think the intelligence supported anything that Donald Trump did in Iran. But I'm just saying, take what Donald Trump and the right-wing warmongers told us was the victory, right? By their own account. Not only was it not achieved, but it was an utter failure. And now they're out there in their weirdo cult fashion, drinking the Kool-Aid, saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." So weird. Weird. Anyway, hit subscribe. Dangerous. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.